So Tom, a draw here then against Worksop Town. What's your opinions on the game?
Another good exercise for the lad to get opposition a couple of levels up from Emily that we played in the week. So a real tough test physically on a difficult surface that we're not used to playing on. The lads are trying to implement what Connor's wanting them to do. I thought we were really aggressive in the counter press and looking to play some really good football through the lines. Ultimately, it broke down at times because sticky surface and whatnot, but I thought overall it's a good exercise. Again, getting a few more minutes into certain players. So again, just building fitness really, and hopefully trying to get them ready for that first game of the season.
Yeah, slightly different approach today with sort of the changes around the 60th minute mark rather than the changes in both halves that we saw in the last pre-season friendly. Was that just again about building up the levels for the players?
Yeah, Danny that's come in with the sport science side of it. We've put a real detailed plan in place in terms of this pre-season, and we want to stick to it. And this game was targeted at 60-30. And as we go through pre-season, we'll start increasing the minutes a little bit more. So hopefully we're ready to go on that for the first game.
I think you've touched on it. The game was itself a little bit scrappy at times, but Barnsley did do a lot of good work on the ball. You'll probably want games like that, won't you, and tests, particularly early in pre-season where they'll have that physical battle and that sort of test.
Yeah, because we're going to come up against teams that play all sorts of different styles, and a lot of them will be physical, and we've got to be able to stand up to it, but at the same time, really stamp our style of play on games with and without the ball. I think Connor's said multiple times that we want to be really aggressive without it. The counter pressing is going to be a massive thing for us. So we're starting to see things that Connor wants to see with the ball as well. Different rotations, different movements. I think the lads are really buying into it. We've seen positive aspects of it in both games.
I just wanted to touch on John O'Bland. I think he's put in two solid performances in the two games so far. Played in sort of the deepest midfield role out of the three. We've obviously seen him last season playing in several positions. Is that where we've seen him so far? Probably where we'll see more of him this season, do you think? Or is it a case of that versatility coming in?
I think Blandy's a really good player. He's a really good footballer. He's got a really good brain for the game. So obviously he played right back on occasions last season, and at Reading he played in that sixth role, which is probably his more suited position, but he's got attributes to play elsewhere, and we've got probably no qualms in playing him in other positions. But I think in the two friendlies and Reading as well at the end of the season, he's put in some really good performances with the ball and again without the ball. At the Healer today, his reactions to good gameplay, but when we turn it over at the really top notch in the minute, so hopefully that just continues and improves even more.
It's great to find a chat with you, Tom, of course. And you obviously joined the first team set up with Connor towards the back end of last season, continued into this season as well. How have you found it, working with Connor, with Richard Keogh as well, of course, as this being your first pre-season with the first team as well?
I'm loving it, really, if I'm honest. It's a lot of work, a lot of detailed work, but we're having really good conversations about how the game looks, how Connor wants the game to look. And we have our opinions on stuff, we voice in conversations in the club. He values our opinion a lot, and Richard's come in, he's a newer face. I don't know Richard before he came here, and I think we've clicked really well. To say it's only been 2 weeks, so it's a real good feel about the place at the minute, amongst the staff and the players. Hopefully we start to see the benefits of it. But the lads are really buying into it. They're working so hard in training, and I hope people are seeing that come out in the games at the minute.
Just finally, the games are coming thick and fast in this pre-season so far. We've got Buxton next on Tuesday evening. Have you seen things from today good enough to take into that one for Tuesday?
Yeah, ultimately we're going to keep working on things, and we want to see within the games, and we'll start adding and layering that up as the weeks go on. Getting some AstroTurf, another difficult surface. I think we've had a couple of lads that have found it a little bit difficult and rolled their ankles and whatnot. So we'll have to see how they come through the game from today. Again, as soon as we keep seeing improvements and the physical levels keep improving, then that's what these games are for.